me and Lindsay did the poem Titanic by Slavitt. She's going to read it.
Okay. Who does not love the Titanic? If they sold passage tomorrow for that same crossing, who would not buy? To go down, we all go down, mostly alone. But with crowds of people, friends, servants, well-fed, with music, with lights, ah! And the world, shocked, mourns, as it ought to do, and almost never does. There will be the books and movies to remind our grandchildren who were and who we were and how we died, and give them a good cry. Not so bad after all. The cold water is anesthetic and very quick. The cries on all sides must be a comfort. We all go, only a few, first class.
Okay, so our thesis for this one is, in the poem Titanic, Slavitt uses sarcasm in the forms of euphemism, understatement, and diction to illustrate what that social class can't glamorize death.
Okay, in the first stanza, he says, who does not love the Titanic? If they sold passage tomorrow for that same crossing, who would not buy? He's, like, using sarcasm and irony there because, like, how could you love the Titanic and, like, want to buy a ticket for that crossing when you know it's destined for doom? And, like, why would you love a ship that you know is going to die, like, and it's going to sink? That doesn't really make any sense. So he's definitely being ironic, and he's being definitely sarcastic because you don't really love a ship like that. So he's, yeah.
Okay, and then the second one, it's juxtaposition because it's like, it says, to go down, we all go down, mostly alone. It says, like, everyone's together, but no, not really. You're really alone. And because then it says, but with crowds of people, friends, servants, well-fed, with music, with lights, ah. So it's like, together, alone, together. It's like total juxtaposition there.
Okay, and then he says, there will be the books and movies to remind our grandchildren who we were and how we died and give them a good cry. He's obviously being sarcastic, like, give them a good cry. That's rude. Why would you want to give your grandchildren a good cry? Like, that's obviously a sarcastic tone in that line, so, yeah.
And then, in the last one, it's euphemism, because it's talking about death, and it's like, you know, you're going to die, but it's not that bad, because it says, not so bad, after all. The cold water is anesthetic and very quick. Like, no, you're dying of hypothermia. That's not quick and comfortable. Like, you're dying. So that's definitely euphemism because he's, like, understating what's happening.
Yeah, so it's like putting it down and making it seem like less of a horrible thing. Okay, so in closing, we would just like to say that, like, no matter what, no matter how many jewels you have, or what fancy ship you're on, everyone died, so you can't glamorize death.
Yeah, you can be rich or poor, anything. Everyone died on the Titanic because it says, we all go, only a few first class. Like, that's total understatement. Like, you might be first class, but you're all dying. So
yeah, so, like, everyone died. You can't really make it glamorous. So whether or not you're on the Titanic or you're on the SS Minnow, you're dying, and you can't make it good. Everyone's dead.
That's it. At the end.
Bye.